What's up YouTube? This is going to be your guide on how to use Indeedee-female and male in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. I'll be providing competitive movesets and some fun me movesets too. If there's a Pokemon you'd like to see me cover, put it below in the comment section of the video. And if you enjoy these, if they help you out, drop a like and let's get into it. So Indeedee male and female are both quite different Pokemon. They've got similar stats, but they actually learn different moves and have completely different roles. So I'm going to be going through each of these forms and explaining them thoroughly. So let's cover Indeedee-female first, because this one generally gets more use due to the moves that it learns. So as you can see, Indeedee-female's stats are, well, they're a little bit all over the place, aren't they? So we've got a special defensive stat as its highest, and then we've got like kind of an average speed stat, a reasonable special attack stat, and everything else is kind of rubbishy, right? So this Pokemon actually has some nice special bulk, right? Some really, really good special bulk, which makes it more of a support style Pokemon, but it can still be a sweeper. So let's have a look at more of a single set. Then we'll do some doubles and other stuff like that, and then I'll repeat that for the forms. How's that? So we've got a psychic and normal type, so some interesting coverage there, you know, being weak to dark and bug and things like that. Now, it has 3 abilities. We got own tempo, so it can't be confused, immune to intimidate, which usually is not going to be good on it because it's a special attacker. We've got synchronize, and we've got psychic surge. So 99.9% of people are going to use psychic surge because it summons psychic terrain, which is a very, very good ability. It's going to power up any of Indeedee's psychic type moves, and it also blocks priority 2, which can be handy on more support style sets with Trick Room and such like that. So the first set is more of a sweeping set, which still can be used on this Pokemon. Not the greatest use of its abilities, I would say. In my opinion, it's a better, Indeedee F is a better doubles Pokemon than it is singles, but you can still use it as a special sweeper. So we've got, first on this, we've got Psychic, we've got Terra Blast Fire. I don't mind Terra Blast Fire because it is going to resist bug, and at least you're able to hit steel type Pokemon with it as well. That is, you know, a definite handy thing for it. We've got Hyper Voice there too with Throat Spray, and we've got Alluring Voice as well, which can hit any dark type Pokemon, which is going to be useful too. So both moves have a chance of activating, or are able to activate the Throat Spray there when using them, which is going to be good. So max special attack and max speed, timid nature. So it's not the fastest Pokemon in the world, and it's not the hardest hitter, but with Psychic Terrain up there, you are going to be able to hit a bit harder with a Psychic, which is going to be useful. The thing about this is, compared to the other Indeedee, I'm speaking about hitting harder under there, is Expanding Force, right? But it doesn't learn Expanding Force that can hit harder like the other one. Is what I meant before there. So it doesn't get that. So it only gets Psychic. So that's the strongest Psychic move that it learns, right? So that's it. Unfortunately, it does not get Expanding Force, which gets that big boost. But it's not really cut out for that. It's more of a support Pokemon, in my opinion. So other Terras you could run on that. I mean, it's weak to dark and bug. So you could run Fairy on there. I would say Fairy. That's a good one because that is going to resist both. But that's more of a defensive one, and that's it. You know, that's all you're going to probably be able to squeeze out of Indeedee-female for like more of a singles play. Doubles, obviously, this Pokemon is a lot better in doubles, in my opinion. So there's quite a few things you can do for Indeedee as for moves. It learns a ton of great support moves. And I'm going to go, I actually sort of have to go over them in 2 sets because there's quite a few. And there's quite a few good items you can use here. So this is sort of a set that works nicely in doubles. So this gets Trick Room as well, which is really cool. So you've got Trick Room there, and it gets Follow Me too, which the male counterpart does not actually get there. So you've got that, and Follow Me is great during Trick Room because you can redirect attacks while your ally sets up. Now, a move I like to put on this as well is Imprison. Because if you come across any other Trick Room users, or even an opposing Indeedee, you can really like mess them up. So if you don't know what Imprison does, if you use the move Imprison, the opponents could not use any move known by the user, which means Trick Room, Follow Me, and Psychic, right? So you can't use any of those moves at all. So it's a little bit more gimmicky, but it can actually shut down other Trick Room users or any other Pokemon with these moves as well, or Follow Me, or anything like that. It can be interesting, right? So with Psychic Surge, we're going to be picking that, obviously, and we got Psychic Seed. So with Psychic Seed, I like this. Gives you a special defensive boost by one stage swapping it in, which is really good because this already has a good special defense already, so you don't need to invest anything into it. So it's going to get a +1 on swapping in, and it's going to be quite bulky there. Max health, which is absolutely needed, and max defense. And I gave it Relax nature, so more for Trick Room. You don't have to run Relax if you don't want to. It can still, obviously can still get outsped there, but you know, with Trick Room, I feel like that guard definitely can work. And I gave it Terra Fairy. Terra Fairy, I feel like, is the best defensive nature for it, purely because it's going to resist Dark and Bug. And that's it, right? You're not meant to be doing lots of damage here. You're just supporting your allies and teammates and stuff like that. That's pretty much it, right? That's the best use of Indeedee. Now, another way you can run this as well, or pretty much the same kind of set, same EV, stuff like that. This one has some other moves too. So I've run this as Terra Steel. Just another way of running. You could run Terra Fairy on this if you like too. Just another example could be Steel. I've got Citrus Bear on this time. So I'm able to get a little bit of recovery on myself. So I might be able to live another turn to use Follow Me. I've got Heal Pulse. So Heal Pulse is going to be super nice on your ally, healing it of 50% of its health. And then you got Helping Hand as well. So it's got such great support moves. And then when you feel like Indeedee is dead weight and you don't want to use it anymore, you can use Healing Wish, right? So the next Pokemon that gets swapped in gets fully healed, right? And that can be delayed too. So you could, try and go clutch and save that to the end for one of your, hyper offensive Pokemon that's on a bit of health that could beat the rest of the team, but not on a little bit of health, right? So that could be kind of clutch there. And we got Max Health to Max Defense, Bold Nature, or Relax, whatever you like there, depending on if you're running it. This one I didn't run under Trick Room, so I just thought I'd give two different examples of the same sort of set and the moves that are going to be very, very good for it to use there. So lots of different options for this Pokemon as a support, right? Basically, the best thing about Indeedee is it's a good Trick Room Pokemon. It can block any incoming priority moves, which is going to be good for any slow Pokemon. The cool thing about it too, no, it doesn't get after you. So this one doesn't, it's confusing because it's like, does it get after you? But it doesn't get after you. I believe the other one does. So there are a couple of moves they sort of share, but then they don't have, right? But yeah, it gets so many different moves on there, which is going to be awesome. And then, you've got the other one, which is more of an offensive one, whereas this is the defensive one, if that kind of makes sense there. So yeah, that's what I would do for Indeedee, at least the Indeedee-female. Let's have a talk about some teammates and stuff. Why we're talking about Indeedee-female right now. So if you want to go like hyper offensive teammate, I would have something like Shadow Rider. Which is going to be super good. But maybe not so much at a Trick Room, but even with Follow Me, that's going to be super nice because you can go Terra Fairy, right, and redirect Dark moves. You can redirect Ghost moves, being a normal type. That's super good. That's super nice. Why Calyrex just destroys the opponent's team. So that's nice. Another good one as well that can work on the team. Amoonguss is good on this. Like if you had Amoonguss and that on the team, that's quite good. They make quite a good core. They work well together. I've done Amoonguss guide already. I'm trying to think. And more of a physical attacker. How about King Gambit? Like King Gambit would work well as well. Being a dark and steel type, they sort of work well together too. So that would work well under the Trick Room. So that's a pretty good little core for a team there. And they cover, like, especially Shadow Rider, that covers its weakness like really, really well. Absolutely well. Basically, countering this isn't too hard. It's very easy to, it's very easily worn down and stuff like that. I would say dark type moves. Real heavy dark type moves would be good against. It's like King Gambit, but not Sucker Punch or anything like that. Like, you know, I've done a King Gambit guide already, but really powerful dark type moves or Terra Dart will just destroy Indeedee because it's not that bulky. Really, it's not that bulky. Even with max health and max defense, it's not overly bulky. So it'll get worn down very fast, especially if it have to keep using Follow Me all the time and stuff like that. So just have to sort of, you know, wear it down there. Let me give some special ones before I delete my own set there. How about Hydreigon? That's a good counter. So Hydrate, and the only thing you got to worry about is a fairy type move there. But Dark Pulse on Hydreigon will cause it a lot of issues too. What else would be good? I think that's pretty. I think that's pretty good. That's some pretty good counters there. So good teammates, good counters there for it. Let's have a look at the other one now. So we've got the male counterpart. Now let's have a look at its stats. As you can see how it's got 105 in special attack, whereas this has 105 in special defense. So they swap, right? So that's got 95 in speed, and that has 85 in speed. So it's kind of this also has a little bit more attack as well, but you know you're not really looking at attack, but interesting. And this has a little bit more in health, so it's got like 10 base more in health. So this one is your sweeping set, right? This is the one that gets expanding force, so it gets the 1.5 times boost under the psychic surge. So that's going to be very, very nice. So this is more, this could definitely work here. So we've got this one as a double set. I think I've missed the singles one. We'll go back to that. So we've got Expanding Force and Dazzling Gleam, which are going to work rather nicely, and Terra Blast Fire, and also as Trick as well. You can give Trick and Trick an item away, which is going to be quite useful to get rid of your Choice Scarf. Now you could run that as Choice Specs as well, definitely. That would work. And you've got max special attack and max speed. So it's got more speed and more offense. So more of an offensive Pokemon. But I feel like this is definitely outclassed by other Pokemon. I think there's better special attackers. And I feel like Indeedee's role is really carved out best with the defenses there. In my opinion, definitely for sure. I know a lot of people use that one over it. But I still wanted to show what this one can do. So, yeah, you've got that. Or if you don't want to run Choice Scarf, you could go for Calm Mind. That could possibly work as well. You could do, like, Terra Fairy on Dazzling Gleam. That could work, too, as a more, like, defensive and offensive type for Dazzling Gleam. That could definitely be something you could go for there if you wanted to. Another one you could try... I'm trying to think of some other cool things you could use. You could put... Actually, Focus Sash wouldn't be bad on this because you've got Psychic Surge that would block priority. Let's get rid of Trick. This is kind of niche, but if you had like a low accuracy team, you could even put Gravity onto there. That's something you could try as well. That could be something you could go for. Now, another one that you could go, I haven't mentioned this yet, is Terra Fighting. So Terra Fighting obviously would be a way to get around any dark type Pokemon, which normally this would struggle with. So that's a way to get around. If you're really worried about dark type Pokemon, Terra Fighting could be another option there to run too. So that's not too bad. Try and think of some other good ones. You've got Hyper Voice and Throat Spray. We sort of went over that already. That could work. Definitely, you could even do, heck, you could even go like Terra Normal and Throat Spray. So, yeah, you could do that too. That could do some more damage. It's kind of nice, but it doesn't have absolutely amazing offensive stats. Like, it's okay, you know, but it is interesting, and it is a way of putting Psychic Surge on the field too. So, that's a way of running. This is definitely more offensive than the other one. Now, I didn't mention this before, but we got Calm Mind on here too. So this one's probably more catered for singles, but you could try it in doubles if you like. So this is a Psychic Surge set as well. And we've got Terrain Extender. So Terrain Extender is going to increase Psychic Terrain to 8 turns instead of 5. So you get the full use out of Psychic Surge there. And you can fire off Expanding Forces, Dazzling Gleams of Dark types, Fighting types. Not that you wouldn't be using Expanding Force, but and then Dragon types, and then you've got Terror Blast Ground is another option you could go for as well for Steel types or Fire, and then you've got Calm Mind to boost up your special attack as well. Special Defense is still alright there, so that's another way of running it, more catered towards a singles playing field though with Calm Mind. So yeah, another way that you could go about running this Pokemon. Now, sort of like the counters and the teammates work fairly, they're fairly similar, I would say. There's nothing too like different about them and stuff like that. How about... Oh, we'll have a look at my Pimp Night special here. So I had to do a physical one because, this is Pimp Night channel, right? So we got to do some memes here. So I was looking... let's have a look at the physical set, right? So I brought up the Indeedee-male and I looked at the abilities. I'm like, well, Synchronize isn't really going to do much, but let's have a look at Inner Focus because that can stop flinching and it's immune to Intimidate. And I was like, oh, this gets Fake Out and it gets Last Resort. So we could go Fake Out, get the Clap Them Cheeks, get that damage, and then, which is going to be boosted by Silk Scarf, 1.2 times boost, Terra Normal. And then we could go for the mighty Last Resort, 140 base power, right? So use that, and you can just spam it. Very spammable. Max attack and max speed, Adamant Nature, getting off that thumping 65 at special attack base, and just going crazy on the opponent's team. If there was a Sticky Web down, that would make it very, very nice as well, since you don't have any Psychic Surge going for you. But, that could be a fun physical set. I think I may have done that back in the day for a bit of fun, and it worked pretty well. It actually did work pretty well. I mean, obviously Ghost types can get around it, but it could be a fun little set for you to maybe try out, Let's have a look. I'm just going to sort of going over some other... Oh, there's some other items I didn't really mention here. So another good item on Indeedee in doubles is also Rocky Helmet, because you can redirect Pokemon's attacks right in and do damage to them. So that's a really good one to have on there as well, if you want to. I'm just trying to think of any other ones. You can do interesting stuff like... even if you wanted to have like eject button. I'm trying to think of some other ones. You could have a eject button on there too, so you get your Trick Room or your Psychic Search and eject out of there. That could just work too. Like, eject button's more gimmicky though. So if you survive the hit, you get immediately swapped out. So you could wait and then, for Psychic Search to run out or something like that. If you said it need to swap out, or if you got Intimidate Pokemon on your team, that could work. I'm just trying to think of some more other item options for you all. But those ones, they're pretty rock solid, those ones, I reckon. I would go with them. Some other Pokemon partners. Even Urshifu is going to be good. Urshifu Rapid Strike, that's going to be good too. I'm just thinking of some other good ones. I've pretty much gone over all of them, right? Let's have a look at Indeedee's, like, all of its moves and stuff like that. See if I've missed anything, some last sort of thoughts here. But definitely my thoughts here, normally Indeedee-female one is great in doubles. A real good support Pokemon in doubles. If you haven't tried it out, you should. And the other one is more suited for singles as an offensive Pokemon. But it sort of lacks... I don't know. I feel like it's still outclassed. It's like a Tapu Lele or something like that, But yeah, let's have a look at its status moves, because it does get some interesting ones here. So it does get Baton Pass. It's Calm Mind, has Healing Wish. We went over that Healing Wish. It gets some screens. You might be able to look at screens there. It gets Trick Room. If you've got any other Indeedee sets, feel free to put them in the comment section. I feel like I've covered everything. Oh, it gets Metronome. So you want to do a Metronome battle? There you go. You can even reset your Psychic Terrain up if you need to, if it gets removed. I don't know if someone's running a terrain, Ice Spinner or something like that. We've gone over most of those moves there. Let's have a look at the special moves. So we went over Alluring Voice. It's got Alluring Voice. It has Draining Kiss as well. I don't really know if Draining Kiss would be worth it, I think it's kind of outclassed by Dazzling Gleam and Alluring Voice, in my opinion. I think it's outclassed by that. You got Psychic as its main stab there. Stored Power. I don't think you're going to have enough time to get Boost up. That's its special move. So it's a heavy support Pokemon. And funnily enough, it doesn't get many physical moves, as you can see there. So you got a Body Slam, Drain Punch set. Ooh, fake. This is where this one doesn't have. I didn't know that. So the female doesn't have Last Resort. There you go. I didn't know that. I mean, not that anyone would be really looking for that, but there are a few differences between Indeedee female and male. So make sure if you are using these Pokemon, just make sure you look up exactly, because you might be surprised that it doesn't have a move, right? And then we'll have a look at the male one. I'd like to have a look at both of them. Okay, they have. Yeah, this has own tempo and synchronize, and this has inner focus. So this one has inner focus, and this one has own tempo. So, but small kind of difference there. Not much. So it can't. This has Encore as well. There's not too many differences I haven't mentioned. I think on this, I did like Imprison on the other one though. That was kind of cool. I don't think you'd be using Skill Swap on this. Gravity went over that. There's not too much. Like this Pokemon is, these Pokemon is like pretty sort. Like the only difference is the main difference for this is Expanding Force, right? And I think they did it on purpose, so you'd use this for that, as an offensive sort of special attacker compared to the defensive wall. So yeah, there's that, and yeah, there's not too much. And then as you go to the physical moves, and it does have. Am I blind? Did that actually have Last Resort on there? I swear that didn't have it. Maybe I made a mistake. No, it doesn't. It doesn't. So there you go. You learn something new, that male Indeedee does not have Last Resort, only on Pimline's channel. So anyway, everyone, that's going to wrap up today's video. Final thoughts. Indeedee F is a great support Pokemon in doubles. It can set up Trick Room. It's got redirectional moves. It's got ways of shutting down opposing Pokemon with Imprison. It's got ways of setting Psychic Terrain up, blocking priority, good defensive terrors it can use. It's virtually got it all, right? It can be an okay special attacker, but it's primarily for that role. The male one is definitely better as a special attacker, Expanding Force. It can still work as well. So yeah, interesting Pokemon, and learn some different moves each. That's about it. I did a guide earlier on. If you want to check that, I did a Manaphy guide. And if you want to watch any other guides, I've done hundreds of them. So put a guide below if you'd like me to cover a Pokemon. Just check it out if I've done it already. And if you enjoyed it, found it interesting, drop a like and a comment below, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.